Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Zero Gaming here, and today we're only going to go through one of the characters, the main price of the banner, and I'll leave the other three characters until tomorrow maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about a seriously misunderstood creature, like Hagrid always said.
Don't worry yourself, you're not alone. Seriously misunderstood creature.
Lunafreya. Alright, this, I think what Black Nero actually talked about this character, he talked really well about it. He mentioned about how she's not underhyped, she's not overhyped, but she's just seriously misunderstood. People actually hype her up so much, they believe that having her in the party or in the game or in your roster can actually have you no longer rely on other supportive characters, so they actually skip a lot of characters and just wait until Lunafreya, which I highly not recommend on doing so. I already mentioned before in my Charlotta's video where I said that Charlotta is a very strong unit, and she's not pulling her doesn't mean that, pulling Lunafreya doesn't mean that you're gonna have to skip Charlotta unless resources is your main issue, because both of them do really different things. Anyway, going back into the details here, Lunafreya is a very strong utility user. Her skill 1 is a classic FR battery skill. It batteries the entire party and it heals, and instant turn rate as well. So yeah, classic FR battery like I mentioned. Her skill 2 is a 3 single target HP attack with a little bit splash 50% and then inflict water and ice imperil to the entire enemy. So it's more of a filler attack, as well as her EX, which does 3 full AoE HP attack, and of course the EX buff, you want to keep it up because it does maintain the party ice enchant. Her LD is the one that you have to look out for, because her LD actually has a very unique mechanism tied to her LD. If you realize, every time you click her LD, she'll grant 2 buffs to herself, and then 1 specific buff to the allies depends on where their position is. If their position is at the left side of Lunafreya, she'll grant them a buff called Heavy Prayers. This buff actually allows the allies to deal an additional fixed HP attack based on 10% of their HP damage cap up. Not cap up. So this is like Leo's LD effect, and this will be granted for 2 turns on the allies and for herself. And for those who are on her right side, she'll grant them another buff called Quick Prayer. This actually allows the allies to take 3 consecutive turns, and the first turn that they take will have 3 skills. So yeah, a very good, it's what makes Lunafreya really good is this 2 particular buff. And if you notice, Lunafreya also has an overhead buff when it goes up to 4 stacks, which will increase every time Lunafreya takes a turn, regardless of whether or not she's taking their turn or if she's using the call. Like if you have her at 0 stacks, for example, and if you're using a call from her, like Laguna's call for example, then it will still increase that 1 turn on Lunafreya regardless. So it's a very nice skill, and it's very easy to increase because Lunafreya actually has a lot of free skill, free instant turn in all of her utility. So yeah, once the stack reach up to 4 stack, Lunafreya will have a converted bravery and HP attack, an instant free turn for both. And if she used that bravery attack, she'll be allowed to grant a specific ally the first quick prayer buff, which is the 3 consecutive turn buff. And if she used her HP attack on a specific ally, she will be able to grant the heavy prayer buff regardless of their position. So yeah, it's from what you can see that these 2 are the crucial one that Lunafreya provides in the party. You either want the party to do more HP damage, or you want the party to have more consecutive turns. So the idea of this is actually to have her provide the 10%, which is the additional HP attack to your turn hogger or your link attacker, like Kane, Cisne for example, since they always follow up at the attack and you don't want them to get too many turns. So by putting the second buff, which is the quick prayer buff, on a specific allies or your BT characters that you're going to enter the BT mode in, you can actually capitalize that heavy prayer on the link attacker themselves. So character like Cisne or King can always deal heavy amount of damage while your BT mode goes active. So that is what makes Lunafreya so good. The best part is actually the quick prayer buff, to be honest, because giving an allies a 3 consecutive turns basically means that you're almost making everyone that pairs with Lunafreya a turn hogger. As you all know, FR later down the line is going to have very specific HP damage bonus up condition cater when the specific allies perform the action. For example, Rinoa, who has an additional 20%, if I'm not wrong, if she's the one who performs her magic attack. So this actually makes them a lot more reliable if they are paired with Lunafreya, since getting 3 turns back to back means that you can actually perform your FR going into your own attack and then going into your own BT mode relatively quick. And this is even made better with Lunafreya's BT, because Lunafreya's BT, while it does have a lot of supportive aura, but the best part about her BT effect is actually the extended granted buff by 1 turn. So this means that 3 consecutive turns now becomes 4 consecutive turns. So that is extremely good. So while you may have to invest a lot if you want to go for her BT and her BT plus, it's definitely still worth the resources from what I gather in my experience during my gameplay with Lunafreya, because I use her really a lot. As for Lunafreya's FR, it's actually a weird one. I think her FR is the least attractive weapon that you want to go for. So her FR provides a party-wide bravery and HP regen. It does similarly 3 AoE split HP attack. And it also provides the party a true water elemental enchant because of the condition. Okay, so the condition is weird though. It's like it needs you to perform water elemental attack, which is not hard because she provides true water elemental enchant to the entire party. But it also requires you to perform the ice elemental attack. Okay, this is the problem because Lunafreya doesn't provide a true ice enchant to the entire party, while she does provide ice enchant. So if you have a specific element tied to your attack, like Garnet for example, then your attack will only fulfill one of the condition, which is the 20% condition for the water elemental attack, since ice elemental attack is no longer in the table because it doesn't have the true ice elemental enchant. So yeah, that part is a little bit lacking. And another additional 20% will be given if you grant a buff to ally. It's not really hard, a lot of supportive character does this, though if you are a selfish DPS character like Squall, then this FR may not be the best case for him to perform. But anyway, yeah, that's the idea. Lunafreya FR is definitely not her most attractive weapon. I would say that her LD is the one that you really want, and followed by that is her BT. Okay, so for Lunafreya, she's a very good character because of the utility she provides, not because of the aura, to be honest. She does have decent aura with a lot of HP damage up and brave damage up in between, but her buff doesn't last very long. So yeah, it's not extendable too during your BT phase, so be careful when using those and time your precision well. So yeah, I think the synergy part about Lunafreya though, since she provides water true elemental enchant, there's not really much of a she already provides most of the situation that you need for your entire party. So the only true worrisome if you're going to use her FR on another ally, then it's gonna be the third one, where your party member has to grant a buff to other allies for it to trigger. While there are a lot of units that does so, you also have to be careful about whether or not elemental is tied to their specific attack. Like Garnet does provide the allies body with the allies buff with her skill 1 and her skill 2, but since elemental is tied to it, she wouldn't be able to fulfill her second condition. So yeah, I'm gonna list down all those that does, for example, so you can actually synergize them pretty well with Lunafreya. But otherwise, if you're gonna run Lunafreya in a party and not using her FR, then she's gonna synergize with almost everyone else. Since the way she works, she can either provide the party extra turn or extra damage. So that's your choice in which you position her at, kind of like Pain. But although do keep in note that with Lunafreya in the party, your party would take a lot of turns, 3 turns, but still a lot of turns. So she may not be the best partner when you're trying to run a often team composition, since she'll take up so many turns, the enemies will recover their bravery and then you'll break them again, and then ends up you turn manipulating the enemy and everything. But yeah, that's the idea behind Lunafreya. Personally though, this is a very valuable character. There's no reason for you not to pull for her, unless of course you don't like her characters. And to be honest, she has a lot more screen time in this game than in her original game, so that's a huge plus. Personally, I'm really looking forward to the story. I actually am really excited when she was released in JP, mainly because of the story chapter that was featured alongside her, which was based on Final Fantasy 8 and 15, which have more focus and Final Fantasy VIII for obvious reason. So yeah, this is going to be a must-pull banner for me, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't see, like I said, I don't see any reason not to pull for her. She just does so much in such a single pack character. So yeah, definitely a go-to, but seriously, please try to understand how to use her properly before going into it, instead of then saying things like, I think people overhyped her too much because she's not that good, for example. Yeah, she is that good, but you just need to know how to use her properly. Position and timing as well is really important in properly maneuver her kit. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you again for watching. I'll put the other 3 characters in another videos, but I don't think you'll be too interested in watching those anyway, because your main focus is always going to be this character. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.